Cam Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G. Big Lou, Tuesday night. Big Lou, what's happening?
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody had a great weekend. We had a great weekend of football. Hope everybody
Lot of,
came out okay. I was teeter-totter, wishy-washy, but I made it through. I didn't scare myself up too bad, but
yeah, it was a
made it
little rough
through.
this week. Yeah, a
A
little
little
rough
rough.
this week with some of the spreads and um, yeah. Number. I mean,
Yeah,
I give you a
it was
couple. I
rough,
give
rough this weekend.
yeah. College will give you a couple right off the bat. That
Oh yeah,
um, Alabama only winning by 3.
yeah,
If you had
yeah. The
Alabama, you
Razorbacks put up a fight there in the second half. Put up a pretty good. They punched back pretty good in the second half.
they did. They did. Notre Dame handled. I think Notre Dame proved a point. I think they made a little. I don't know. Some people were like, "Oh, USC's been exposed." I don't know if it was. I'm not saying that, but I think that
Mhm.
the Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, are looking good.
Right. They're just better built, better prepared. Uh they believe in what's going well, phrase it right. They're buying into what their coaches are doing
Right,
and
right,
it's
right.
working. And I think USC has kind of lost with the whole portal thing. I think they need to set a foundation of what the school is. Because it seems like to me it's an open gate sort of
Yep.
thing. It's like USC has become more of a brand than a foundation for a school. You
Yeah.
know.
Good. That's a very good point. Pittsburgh beating ranked 14th Louisville. That was an upset. Um,
Yes.
um, Trying to see. Duke handled their business.
Uh,
Colorado, that was a debacle after the half. I mean, I took
yeah.
Colorado, and I was just like, "Holy cow!" But hats off to Stanford. You know what I mean? For them coming.
Yeah. For
I
not laying down and for fighting their way back. That was very hard
Yeah,
for them for making halftime adjustments to switch the momentum of their game, especially when they were
that,
at home. There was no way they were supposed to lose that game at home, so they say.
right.
But you got to show up, or once you maintain a lead, you can't never let your foot off the gas until the final whistle. And I don't, and I've been hearing, in the media about a discipline thing, and I don't think it's a discipline thing. It's just learning as you go as a team that's been put together for the first time. And
Yeah,
it's just the growing pains of it. All of that comes with it. Even some of the quotes Dion made about, I gotta find out who is in love with the game and who's in like with it. Because if you're in like with it, then, it's not gonna work for you. You're gonna be exposed. But if you're in love with the game, in love with everything except for playing and all the notoriety you get from it, if you love it like he does, then you'll understand that that there's no time to waste and nothing's guaranteed.
well, I think the portal. Not to spend too much time. I think the portal is going to cause a lot of problems. Going to
Yeah,
find a lot of kids that lose their way and chasing the money and not really in love with the game. And
right.
I get
Continuity
it.
problems.
Yeah, I'll tell you another game was really really good was Washington and Oregon. That was a fight
Yes, I
to the
watched
end.
that game. That was a great game. That was a great game. Nailed by it. Like I predicted, I thought that was going to be a good game too.
Yes, that was
Um,
started over the weekend was the ALS championship and the NLS. I really thought I really predicted I really thought that in the American League that the Astros were the better team of all four. Astros are down 0-2 to the Rangers. So go
mm,
figure, go figure that. But let's go to the
right.
NFL. Let's start there. A lot to talk about, especially some gambling avenues. Let me do this, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go. Okay, we'll start with Thursday's game. the Chiefs and Broncos. I had the Chiefs. They covered the 10.5 spread. Um, the Chiefs had some problems. This is a big rivalry. Um, it was 19-8. Um, uh, Next to the game that the Broncos won, probably the best I've seen them. And I don't know where you want to put that exactly when I say that. Yeah, but the underpaid, but we're heavy on the Chiefs. Um,
Mhm.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. The Ravens and the Titans. The Ravens come out and beat the Titans in England. Um,
Hmm.
that game was, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, it was a early kickoff. I think it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. It was an early kickoff.
So we must
There's
be 5 hours behind them or something. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
something like that. And they're even talking
Um.
about trying to get a Super Bowl over there, trying to get a
Why?
Super Bowl in London. Why? Doesn't make sense to me. I feel like, American football is not accepted as much as it may seem to be, over there. They even call it handball. They call soccer football. They say we play handball. Had this argument at work today. Even one of my
There you go.
coworkers, but he's from overseas, and I agree. I said, well, I agree with you because when I was in the military overseas, we had the same argument, and that was 30 years ago. So, so same
Right.
rules apply, I guess. But yeah, but I don't understand
But
it. But yeah, we can.
Rocks. I mean, so the Ravens. I didn't have like. So I stood away. I stood away from. We think we both talked about. Uh, Tannehill had one. Tannehill's numbers was 8 for 16 for 76 yards, one interception. He didn't have a great day. Lamar Jackson looked good. He did have an interception. Um, it was like I said, I didn't get to watch. I saw some highlights. It was
Yeah, I did get to
not a
watch this game, same as you. I
yeah.
had to catch the highlights of it.
I wasn't really betting on it, so I was. Now this next game, I was kind of surprised with the Falcons and the because I had a big parlay, the Falcons and the Commanders. Um,
Yes, the Commanders coming
I
out on top with the win.
yeah, and beating the Falcons at home,
Getting the Falcons at
which
home.
yeah, and D. Ritter put up some numbers,
Mhm.
but he also put up 3 interceptions, and you just
Absolutely,
can't
and
have it. Yeah,
no, you can't. You can't win that way. You
no,
can't win that way. You can't get a ball to the opponent. You can't stuff their stats. You got to stuff your own stats on offense.
yeah. And
Can't give it to your opponent.
Sam Howell, he didn't have big numbers, but he had he had 3 TDs. I think he only threw
Mhm.
for 151 yards, but yeah, Commanders came out with that one. They were in part of a parlay. Um, the Vikings and the Bears, I was a little surprised, but Kirk Cousins, everybody's trying to push Cousins every which way. Um, don't know where
Right.
he's going to end up. Chicago has a lot of. They're playing like so. Chicago's. It was a good game. They lost it. I mean they made it close in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Chicago. If you're going to gamble with Chicago, they're. I mean, they do give up. Usually, they give up more points than this.
Yeah.
But it was kind of good game. Um, the 49ers and the Browns.
Yeah.
49er. I took obviously we were heavy on the 49ers,
Mhm.
but I guess there were some things that we didn't take into effect.
Right.
Was the Browns play similar football?
Yeah.
And they play very similar football, and they have a really good defense.
Yeah.
And
You have the uh blitz.
McCaffrey's
Yeah.
hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Debo's out.
Debo's out. Right. They had a rough day, and it was a tight game. They didn't cover the spread, not at all. And the the over the over under was 36, so you could push there. So that was
Mhm.
a push. Um, Hats off to whoever picked Cleveland. If
Oh
you if
yeah.
you pick Cleveland, if you
Good.
pick
You had a
Cleveland on
good
this
day.
one, yeah, you had a good day. Um,
And
The
then it was
Dolphins
Joe
and the Pan.
Schwartz defense. They didn't stand a chance.
No, not no. No, you're the Miami with the Panthers. Miami puts up some numbers.
Yes,
They make some
yes.
good. They make some good overs. And Tua keeps two in. Can't knock
Hmm.
him there. Um, Looking good. Um, Panthers are going to get another number one draft choice.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
it looks like.
yeah. Because they definitely need to build offensive line around their quarterback. I think they got the
Yeah, but
quarterback part right. Now it's time to build around him. Now you got to protect him, and you got to give him a weapon. So right tackle,
yeah.
right off the dump, right tackle, wide receiver. Then you get, you can find a running back for a serviceable one, you know, and you go from there. Get the lines right, and you should be good to go after that.
I mean, Bryce Young. I mean, I'm really impressed with Bryce Young. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
really, um, and they got a nice running back there. Hubbard. I'm not. They got a nice running back
Mm-hmm.
there. But he needs some other weapons.
Yeah,
He needs some speed on the outside. Definitely help on the offense. Can definitely pick up as many weapons as you can. I was saying this. What was it? I was watching Tulane play, and I look at some of these smaller schools like Tulane. Tulane's got a couple wide receivers that are speed, smaller. You know what I mean? Smaller guys. Obviously, they're not playing, um, but there's a lot of talent. There's so much talent, and I'm not a scout, but I'm sure there's scouts checking every angle out. But yeah, they got some. I was watching that game. I said, "Look at old Tulane's got some speedsters on the outside."
absolutely.
The Jaguars and the Colts. Wasn't this was not a shocker to me. We picked Jaguars. The Colts.
Hmm.
The Colts are going to have a decent year, maybe close to 500.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they'll be a
that's
500 football club.
yeah. The Colts will now. The Jaguars they're really coming along. Like I said, they just come off beating the Bills. They beat the Colts. Sunshine's
Yeah.
looking good. That's a good defensive team. I like gambling with them. We'll check out where they're at. This was another win. Um,
Mhm.
I'm going to leave the floor on you and tell me what happened with the Saints and the Texans.
Well, one thing it's and I watched that game in its entirety. And the problem that the Saints have is no we have no creativity in offense. It's point blank period. Some people say we need a new head coach, and I'm not necessarily saying that the coaching is bad. It's the play calling, and it's the play calling. And when you drive down the field and get in the red zone with Taysom Hill, um, number 12 Olave, that's absolute beast. You have Michael Thomas, and you have Alvin Kamara. These are four weapons, and we're in the red zone and we're running the same play. The wildcat option with Taysom Hill that they saw in the last drive, the flat to Alvin Kamara that they saw on the last drive. So we can't create some type of offense with the weapons that you have to get in the end zone, because 3 points was not going to win the game because Houston was playing
Yeah,
relentlessly. So they deserve to win that game. I feel like because the defense showed up. Defense held the Texans to 20 points. So they did their part. They have to have some type of creativity on offense, and they're lacking with the talent that they have, especially with the money that they pay it out. It's got to be better results. This is not a playoff football team, and
now
this is my team.
Carr had 353 yards. I mean,
353 yards, but we
he had one
couldn't score
interception.
points.
Couldn't score points.
Could score points,
They,
and that's the problem. And you can see with each drive, possible scoring drive, they get close to the red zone and they fall flat. When the field shortens, they fall flat. So there has to be some type of red zone scoring development there. And I forgot also, Whiteside Jimmy Graham, what was he? We couldn't use Jimmy Graham in the red zone.
I
Things
don't know.
like that, things like that, Tony. That's what it is. That's what lost the game. Lack of offensive, lack of offensive
Offensive
creativity, if you
creativity?
will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, hats off to you if you picked the Texans. If you gambled with them, hats off to you. You got
Mm-hmm.
one by us.
Yeah.
Going to, oh, let me see. Going to, yeah, we watched that on the big screen. I was down there at the book for a little bit, and that was obviously on the big screen. The Patriots, the Raiders won.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Jimmy's
and
out.
Jimmy's out. Yeah, I know.
Jimmy's out with an injury.
Jimmy's out with an injury. He had a decent. Uh, had one interception. He had 162 yards. Mac Jones, one interception, 200 yards. You know, they're giving Belichick a lot of slack, and again, he lost a lot of players, and we're such an immediate gratification day that you just can't lose that many players
No.
and expect. You know, it's going to be 5, 6, 7. It may be 5, 6, 7 years. Um, But my hats off to the Raiders. Raiders won, yeah, because the Pates are
This one.
they're a dumpster.
Mhm.
They're gonna end up being a dumpster fire. And
Yeah.
the Raiders are three.
And
Raiders
the
are three
best
and three.
thing, yeah. Best thing for the Patriots at this point is to get into the race for one of those quarterbacks that's coming out. The best bet
Yeah,
for him.
yeah. I mean, it's whew.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And
No,
all
it's
of the
not
teams in their division are getting better as the season go. And they're low on the totem pole. So, you know, at this point, I'm getting in the race. That's just me.
right. And the Rams won, handled the Cardinals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rams are gonna. I think the Rams are probably gonna end up with a winning record. They got some talent, and they definitely got some
Yeah.
talent. They they're 3 and 3. How about the Eagles losing to the Jets? The Eagles
Yeah.
have been struggling. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
game
The
too.
Eagles missed their both offensive and defensive coordinators. They miss, especially their offensive coordinator. They miss him because it doesn't look as crisp. Last year was real crisp. Everything was on all cylinders. Things were happening quicker. You know what I'm saying? It's like it had a clock. This season seems like to me Jalen's holding on to the ball too long. And that's what's
He had three.
causing the lack. That's what's causing the offense of the offense to come down a little bit. Plus, AJ Brown, he's got to make those catches if he's going to ask for the ball. He's got to make the catches. But I think that's what it is. I think they missed the coordinators. Also the defense showed up, and losing Lane Johnson was a big blow to the offense. But still, I think and everybody
Yeah,
don't deny that the Jets defense is elite. But no one expected them to win against. They didn't expect to win. I didn't. I
but
knew it was going to be a low game, but I didn't expect for the Jets to win.
here's some interesting factors. The Jets beat the Bills in a low scoring game, very similar. And the one thing that both these games had in common: interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
We had we had three and a fumble. Jalen Hurts had three. So, and the Jets are not a team that you're gonna. If you make a lot of mistakes, they don't have a lot of firepower, but they have a
No.
good defense. And you give them three interceptions or three fumbles, and they're going to capitalize on them. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really what happened. I mean, the Jets capitalized on the three fumbles, took advantage, and the Eagles look flat. Um, they have in the last couple of weeks. There've been suspect. They've been winning, and
Right.
a lot of this, a lot of the last couple of weeks has gotten real tight with the spread. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. You know what I mean? Because they're playing games with the spread. Uh, I mean that's the name of the game. We're gambling. I mean, but I
Yeah.
tell you what, like usually you can bet the game half the game. You can bet the first half, second half. I'm gonna tell you what else they're doing. Some games like San Francisco, usually if it's 10 points, I'm just making this. If it's 10 points, if it's a 10 point spread, it makes it five in the first half, five in the second. The casino's been or Vegas has been making it to where if it's a 10 point spread, we'll make it 6.5 on the first.
Hmm.
It's like nah, that's I mean there's and then the money lines. It's hard. It's a hard it gets hard this time of year. Trying to picking the winners is a lot easier than you think. It's the problem is you got to beat the spread. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't that we don't pick
Right.
the winners. We're having a hard time beating the spread because there's no money on the money line. Negative 500 is not money on the money line. Moving on to how about them Lions 5-1
5-1 Lions. Yeah, up on the Buccaneers. We was talking good about Baker.
Mayfield?
I am now officially giving Detroit their props as one of the top tier teams in the NFC. I put them over Dallas. So Dallas would be number 4. They would be number 3 behind Philly and San Francisco. And the reason why I say that is because they've beaten both their opponents on the road. Well, they've beaten the champs, the defending champs
Right.
on the road. And, they just handled Tampa in their building on the road on a game that I thought that they were going to lose by between 3 and 6 points. But they
We
they
did.
they showed
We were
me
wrong. Yeah.
the dominance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed me the dominance, and which was surprising to me. But so it kind of opened the eyes. I'm not going to jump off the bandwagon of Baker just because he lost the game. Detroit does have an elite defense, and they really believe in what Dave Campbell is serving up down there. Jared Goff's doing okay too. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jared Goff had 350 yards.
yeah.
No
Good
no
day.
interceptions. Yeah. Mayfield only had one interception. Um,
Right.
yeah. I mean, it just Detroit came. You know, they it wasn't like they jumped out. I mean, I think going into the half, it was 10-3, very
Hmm.
obtainable. Game was there.
Yeah.
Then I think it came 10-6, and then it went 16 to. Then it was 10-6, and then it was 17. And it wasn't that they
Yeah.
were in it. They were
17. Yeah,
close
they
to
were
win.
in it.
Yeah, they were in
It
it.
was
It just
just right.
couldn't
It
put
was
no
just
points on the
Detroit got
board.
in the field goal range and they got opportunities off they got opportunities off the turnover.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of
Hmm.
um, but yeah, it was a good game. Let me see. I'm going over here. All right. Next game is the Bills, and so I'm gonna tell you there's some information that here's where I kind of messed up as a gambler. Is I don't ever bet on my own team. I always say that's a bad thing, but I should have bet the under, obviously because they won. But there's a lot of factors here. The Giants coach used to be our offensive coordinator. Okay, that's a fact. He was the Buffalo Bills coordinator, so he knows the Bills. Tyrod Taylor was our starting quarterback. He knows the Bills. So they were on top of us. They just couldn't score. I mean,
Right.
they were everywhere. They knew every play. I mean, it was 6-0, and then Buffalo came in and finally put some points on the board. Kudos to the for Tyrod Taylor and them. Josh had an interception again. 100, 169 yards. Tyrod Taylor actually threw for 200 yards. Saquon Barkley ran for almost 100.
Hmm.
He looks like he is. Diggs is. He had 10 receptions, 100 yards. So hopefully he was happy with that. I would
Yeah.
want to yeah. Um, so like I'm saying, a lot of times you pick your games, you need to do your research. And again, I wasn't even looking at this game because it's my team and I try to stay far away from it. But
Hmm.
I should have been on top of that because that would have been like, this is going to be a low scoring game.
Right.
But there's a lot of people out. Um, uh, San Fran's got some injuries. I don't know if McCaffrey's coming back. The Bills
Right.
lost a running back. He got carted off. Don't know the detail. Don't know how they haven't given. I haven't seen how long he's going to be out. But all this information that we're getting during the week, you got to use
Mhm.
it on Sunday because
Right.
like I said, that's your opportunity. You know what I mean? Because they
Mhm.
will make, and that's why I hate taking anything too. That's why I don't like taking anything in the week. A couple of weeks ago
Right.
when they benched or not benched, but Deshaun Watson didn't start. That changed everything.
Right.
It's like,
Hmm.
whoa, okay, we're gonna But and with Cleveland's trying to win without him,
Right.
which shows a lot of nothing against Deshaun, but shows a lot of class. We got a whole bunch of games this week. There's some tight gambling going on. I've had some people. I got so and like I said, we play some parlays. Um, the big money goes on one game, two games. That's it.
Hmm.
The parlay is like I say. If you want to throw $20 on a couple parlays, you could pick a stupid parlay and it could pay you 8, 9, 10, 12, $30,000. It's like don't buy a McDonald's Big Mac meal or something. You know what I mean? It's the same amount of
Right.
money. At least you got a little opportunity to win. And there ain't nothing wrong with having a little fun with the big parlays, but I wouldn't just bet all my money. Bet all my
Hmm.
money. I see a lot of people with a lot of different stuff. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, the sports book, KM Radio. You go to the webpage, you get KM Radio, 24 hours a day of great programming, and shows like this and many others. And I want to thank everybody from our KM family at the office, and I want to thank them all for making it possible. We all kind of work together, and Elaw being the guy in the booth behind the scenes. And like I said, go to KM Radio. Go to our Facebook page. Hit us up there. You can go to KM Radio Facebook. They have all kind of community programs that are going on. If you're interested in advertising, you're interested in whatever. You got some kind of community. You got a community service you want us to announce. Send us an email. Hit up Big Lou. It doesn't matter. Just give us a call. We'll be happy to help out and put you know what I'm saying? And in fact, we'll go see Joe's whatever, blah, 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 over here. If you got a function, a fundraiser. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of fundraisers for Little League football, Little League baseball, blah, blah, blah. It's always something. And all that stuff costs a lot of money. When we get back, man, we're going to talk about making some money. I want to thank everyone again for tuning in every Tuesday night at the KHAM Radio, where we go.
Damn.
Cam Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G. Big Lou, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. KHAM Radio, the sports book. Man, I'm glad you guys are back. We're going to talk about some money. We got some great picks coming up. Lou, this next one, I'm gonna talk, and then I'm gonna throw it to you, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm thinking this.
Okay.
The Jaguars are going to the Saints. They're
Ooh.
+3. Go +3. I
Hmm.
I like the Jags, and I'm going to tell you why. Because your offense isn't clicking. I'm just being, and with the
Yeah.
3 points,
I gotta agree with you.
yeah, with the 3 points, it's, the offense just saying clicking, and they're a good defensive team, and the offense playing. They'll let Carr throw for 400 yards as long as they don't score. It don't
Right.
even matter at that point. Yeah, I like the Jags going to home, going home +3, and I like the under at 39, provided nobody gets hurt. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm right there with you, and look, Saints fans, I know who that nation. I know I'm supposed to ride or die. But like what Tony G just said, that's what scares me. I've been beating that drum for a couple of weeks now. Lack of offensive creativity. Now we'll see if they can cook up something, at home, different atmosphere. Players play
True.
different at home, but
But if
until I see some red zone creativity or when we're in short field, if we got a short field that we can get into the end zone, we can get 6 instead of 3, then my confidence level will go up. But I'm very skeptical on a lot. I'm very skeptical from here on out because
well,
we're gonna need more than what they're doing to win against the elite NFC teams that we have to go through to go deep into the playoffs.
here's my thing: if the same offense that shows up this Sunday is the offense that played last Sunday, they won't beat the Jaguars. It's
No,
just it's just a it's just a truth. And I live here. I like to see the Saints do good, but it's just
absolutely
being honest, and we're gambling, and that's just that offense last Sunday is not going to win this Sunday. I mean, unless they change up some stuff. And another thing, and
right.
we'll keep it short. If they do lose at home to the Jags, somebody needs to be start having some conversations with somebody. I don't know
Yes,
who. Somebody
right.
needs to talk to somebody.
But
Yeah,
there
because this.
got to be some. Yeah, we got to start stirring the stew. Got to stir up the
Yes,
stew.
that's true. The Raiders against Chicago. Chicago at home. The Raiders lost their quarterback. What are you thinking?
Mm, mm. Raiders lost their quarterback. I think and their backup is Jared Stidham, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes,
have to
sir.
go with the Bears in this one at home. I think they're gonna play better. Defense is gonna show up. I think the Bears can take this one.
+3. Yeah, I mean the Bears had some glimpse
Yeah.
of of some. They've had some glimpse of some good. And I think the Raiders are banged up, and they're
Mhm.
going to Chicago. Um, I like Chicago. I'm staying away from the over under right now. Have to see the injury report again. All these picks we're giving you are preliminary.
Right.
Sunday go back over. Cleveland against Indianapolis. Indianapolis at home. Um, I like Cleveland. Cleveland played well. It's not going to be a shootout, but I like Cleveland beating beating the Colts at home. Um,
Yeah,
and,
Cleveland's
and
they got a better team. Teams built better team, so they should win that game.
they got a good running game. They got a sufficient enough passing game. They got a really good defense. They got a really good front four. And the Colts are still trying to figure it out at
Mhm.
home. And I even like the under in this game at 39. Um, and then you can go into on your apps whoever you play with, and there is some stuff you can go in and you can change your like if you go into the Cleveland game and you put Cleveland -7, it gives you juice. You know what I'm saying? Because you're taking less. If you
Right.
change it to be a plus, it becomes a minus. But if you
Mhm.
add negativity on it and go, it can change the line. The money line is 125. If you
Right.
change that, hold on. If you change that um, on the reason why I'm telling everyone that, well, they may not let me do it. Yeah, they're not going to let me do it because it's two. It may change it to +300 or what. I'm just making a number up, but um, you and it's not a bad and it's not a bad. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, especially if if there's the right injury and you got a feeling, like I said, why bet on -150 when you can bet on positive 250? But So that's something to look at. And there's all kind of different props. People always ask me all the time about the props. You just got to
Mhm.
look at them. The props are there. The props are like a yo on dice. If you win, it's really a great story. But the reason why it pays 35 to 1 is because you don't win very often. Um, that's why it's set up like that. So be careful with your props. So again, we like Cleveland,
Right.
Detroit at the Baltimore Ravens. Whoa, we got a game here.
Yeah, we got a game right here. This one is going to be hard for me to predict. They play, both the Ravens defense is getting better, I should say. Lamar is, clicking on all cylinders. They're at home, but that's not guaranteed because Detroit has proved they can go on the road and get the job done.
Yes, they have.
This is a hard one for me. I even like the money line. I'm just not sure which team to go with
Right.
because this is a great matchup. This is a great matchup, and it's hard for me to decide which team to go with because I like both teams for the same reasons.
I'm
I
gonna be there.
believe right now, I think Detroit's defense is better, but it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick for me. I'm not sure about this one, Tony.
Man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stand tall on this, and I'm gonna. Alex, I gotta see, but right now, I like Detroit on the money line. I like
Mhm.
where they're heading. I think this is going to be a really good test. They beat the Ravens and go up 6-1. They're the real deal.
Yeah, they're legit.
They're legit. I think it's going to be a tough game. The weather,
Mhm.
have to check the weather. And like I said, this is my preliminary. I got to check the weather, make sure it's not going to be raining cats and dogs. If it is, I might pick the under. I mean, all that stuff plays a factor in all the
Yes.
information that you can get when it comes to when it comes to when it comes to gambling. You got to be like I said, we're doing it to win money. Um, so, but I like Detroit plus the money line. The next game is Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay. Can Tampa Bay bounce back, Lou?
Can they bounce back? If they can, and if they are, this is probably going to be the opponent because of, they play Atlanta a lot. They know how Atlanta's coming. Um, Atlanta's defense is, although great, not as relentless as Detroit's defense. And it'll be a bounce
True.
back game for Baker and the boys. I think the Detroit loss was a good punch. And I think they're gonna be, um, focused on getting a W on their side of the field and righting that wrong. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with Tampa. I'm gonna go with Tampa because it's a division game, and on paper they're supposed to be a better team, but but I think this will be the game that this is going to be a game that they get it right.
Well, I'm with you on that. I like Tampa minus 2.5. Um, this is going to be one of them games. Uh, and Atlanta does have a pretty good defense. Where I'd even consider maybe the under, even though it's only 38. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I like Tampa bouncing back. I really do. I like Tampa bouncing back, beating the Falcons. The Falcons don't. They never have traveled well. Um,
Yeah.
and they're traveling. We're playing the statistics. Here we go, playing
Mm-hmm.
statistics. That's all we're doing. We're taking the information that's given. Um, and so they've never been a great traveling. And I think Tampa comes back minus 2.5. Next game is I couldn't even tell you where to begin with this. The Commanders and the Giants. It's a rivalry game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the Giants look really good against Buffalo. But
Right.
that's what we got. That's what we got for the whole season. How the Giants doing? They look good against Buffalo.
They look
They
good against
lost, but they look good against Buffalo. That's what we got. They look good against Buffalo, and
they
that's
look
it.
good against
That's all I
Buffalo.
got. Yeah, they still lost, but they look good against Buffalo,
Hey.
and that's what you got. And the Commanders. I think the coach, even though he won Coach of the Year last year, I think he's having a hard time. He's going from a offensive. You're talking about the head coach, and you got offense coordinators, two different
Mhm.
jobs. You know what I mean? You're over everything. Um,
Right.
I think they got some growing pains, and I think Daniel Jones. Now, I wish the guy. I mean, I really do. But my gosh, it's like if it can go wrong for him,
Yeah,
um,
it
it
will.
will. Yeah. In Washington, I like Huff. Um, I do. I mean, they're missing a lot of parts too. This would be a good game
Mm-hmm.
because it's a conference game. But I like Washington minus 2. Um, May even like the over, and I know it should be a close game, but you know what? The Giants have made a lot of mistakes on offense, which puts their
Mhm.
defense, which isn't a bad defense at all, but
No,
you can't. Yeah, they're not bad. They're not super, but they're not bad. But
they're
they
not a
can't always
bad defense, but you can
can't be on the
score.
field all the time. Yeah,
Right. They're on the
that's what.
field a
Yeah,
lot.
and they're
And that's
playing
a
short
problem.
field. Yeah, they're
Hmm.
playing short field. I mean, how many times you're going to play short field, and eventually they're going to score, and they get tired. And that's what I
Right.
see with the Giants. And I like Washington. Um, I like Washington. Oh, the Bills in New England. What are your thoughts on this?
I think the Bills got this one. The
I mean,
Bills are
they
gonna
always play us tough. They always play us
yeah,
tough.
yeah. It's a you're right. It's a division game. They do play the Bills tough, but they don't have enough for the Bills. Even with, even with the Bills defense as it is now, I still don't think the Patriots have any star players, and plus, Mac Jones is just not it, you know. So the Bills are going to take this one. Not going to say, it's going to be a challenging game, but I do believe that the Bills are going to take this one.
So I'm writing it down because Lou said it. I think you made a really really good comment there. Um, he will he will come out tough, with a bunch of different schemes because he'll figure out something that rattles Josh, but
Mhm.
he just doesn't have the players to execute it.
Yeah. He
He's just
has the
outman.
plan, but he doesn't have the players to consistently carry out his plan. And they're not going to be able to keep up, with the points that Buffalo's going to score.
I agree. And then that's where I think whereas I mean he has the plan in his head. He just doesn't have the players, and I think that's what aggravates me. And I'm not that I'm a Buffalo fan. I'm not a New England fan, but I mean the guy is he just doesn't have the talent around him.
He
What I mean,
doesn't
and it
have
takes a
personnel.
no, and it takes it ain't like Miami a few years ago when I don't know would they have 7 first round pick or something crazy. They had
Yeah.
so many first round picks. They had lost so long. They had
Mhm.
first round picks coming out. They're like, oh, we got plenty. So yeah, I'm with you on that. The Buffalo, Arizona, and Seattle. I'll tell you what I see here. I see an under. And I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you why. Because if you look back on a lot of the history of these two teams playing, they play a pretty grimy. I mean, they just have a rivalry
Yeah.
with each other. Um, but I think Seattle's. I think Cardinals have a little. Cardinals have some hope. They beat the Cowboys. They had a good scheme. I think the coach is on the right path, but they're still lacking
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. And I think Seattle. Um, I think Seattle is going to be too much. I mean, like I said, I've seen these two play, and it literally be like 14-6. You know what I'm saying? And that's where
Right.
it's an 8 point spread. Because the Cardinals are going to play them tough. They always play them tough. They're in
Mhm.
Seattle. Weather
Right.
could be a factor.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, especially because it rains in Seattle. Holy cow, it
Yes, it
rains.
does.
Um,
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Quite a lot.
quite a lot. I mean, it could be it could turn like that, and you'd be like, holy cow, that's do the thing, boom.
Yeah. Ideal
Yeah, I think
spot if you want to be in the car wash business. If you want some car wash business, if you want that to be a way to jumpstart, move to Seattle. You're going to get a lot of money.
Pittsburgh and the Rams. What are you thinking?
Pittsburgh and the Rams.
In LA.
Steelers on the road don't excite me, especially in Los Angeles. Um, I think the Rams can get this one. It's -3 on my chart over here.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I don't think the Steelers can go to LA and bring a W home. I think the Rams
I
are going
like
to take this.
I like the Rams. I think Tomlin is in the same predicament that Belichick is.
Mm-hmm.
Has the plan, knows what to do, just doesn't have the players,
Or the quarterback.
or
Hit and
the
miss.
quarterback.
Hit and
Yeah,
miss.
hit or miss. Um, so I do. I like the Rams at home, playing in the. That is a dome they play in, right? The
Yes,
Rams.
I think it is a
Rams.
dome.
Yeah,
Raiders
the
and yeah,
Rams.
Rams and
Yeah,
Chargers. Yeah, I think that's a
Chargers.
dome they played. Yeah.
Yeah. They share they share the stadium. Um, all right, here's one too, and I will. This is going to be. This is one of the ones that I mean, unless, and again, I would. Well, I skipped ahead a little. Um, Green Bay Packers, Denver Broncos, Denver at home.
Denver at home. Um, man, this is a tough one too because Jordan Love doesn't play that well on the road as he do at home. But it's Denver's defense. But
Yeah,
they're on the road. Like I said, they're on the road. So I mean, I have absolutely zero confidence in Denver. But I can't, but the Packers haven't impressed me to the point where I think that they're just going to go there and just, beat them up. I think they're going to give them an opportunity to win the game. So it's a
yeah.
hard pick for me. I want to go with the home team, but they don't show the mentality to win to me. So they don't in other words, they don't put fear in Green Bay. And if Jordan Love scores or the defense scores, it's in their favor. So, hard for me to go with this one. Kind of want to pick the home team.
Well, like they're Jordan Love, they're on Jordan Love, but when Favre first took over, he had problems. He had some issues. When Rodgers took over, they all go through a transition. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because when Favre started, he had been in the league for a minute because he was
Yeah.
with Atlanta. I mean,
Yes.
so he was with Atlanta a few years. So I mean, it's going to take. I'm not writing him off on the not writing it off with Jordan
Mhm.
Love. And then Denver, I'm going to say this, and we're not going to, like I said, we were a gambling show, but I will say this. I know there's got to be some dissension on the Denver Broncos team looking at Wilson, who got paid all that money, and
Yeah.
is not, there's no way there's not some dissension. People look at him in the locker room going, really, man?
He got
We
all
gave,
this money and he's terrible. And you can't, love it or hate it. Well, and I know they're hating it right now, but they're stuck with him. It's either
stuck with
you
him.
cut them and you cut them, try to get in the draft, and you just eat, you know, or you're gonna have to sell everything off and start over from scratch.
Yeah, not where they wanted to be by all means. Denver was trying to plug and play a quarterback to um, try to um, win another Super Bowl. But they won one with Peyton Manning,
Hmm?
and he was at the end of his tenure. And I don't know, maybe it's easy to say it now. Maybe they should have went with a young quarterback. Maybe should have went with uh, all that money. Maybe you should have, I don't know,
Yeah,
Kirk
absolutely.
Cousins. Yeah,
And which is it's strange to me that Sean Payton took this job with Russell there, but didn't try to get Russell in New Orleans when Drew Brees was, I don't think they had the money to take on his contract, but there wasn't a big push for him. So that's strange to me too that he took the job. Maybe he thought he could fix him. I'm not sure. Or
yeah.
maybe
Maybe
like we
thought
said last week, maybe he's trying to turn trying to turn Russell Wilson into Drew Brees, and that's not working.
No, just not going to happen. Next game is Miami and Philly. Miami's going to Philadelphia to play.
Mm.
We have seen, like I said, Philly is 5-1, and I'm gonna step out on this one. 5-1. We've seen them struggle, and Philly does have a good defense. Uh, they got some bumps and bruises on the road. I like the Dolphins. I like the
With you on
Dolphins
that
with that.
one.
I mean, Dolphins on the money line.
Dolphins
I
on the
like the
money line.
because I think they're going to
Cheetah,
go there.
Cheetah and Waddle.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean,
You know,
it's gonna be all or nothing. That's what's gonna. I
yeah,
mean, it's all or nothing. And if Miami can, I mean, I'm not
sustain.
rooting
Yeah,
for.
all they got to do is
Yeah,
sustain the
yeah,
running game. If they could
and
sustain a consistent running game, it's going
well,
to be
so
lights out.
yeah, and I mean, the bottom line is if they sustain a running game, all of a sudden they got it. You go okay, and then bam, it's in the air,
Flash.
baby. 80
Yeah,
years
flash.
flash. What was that? It's Tyreek Hill, baby. You better
Yeah,
catch him.
Cheetah.
And
You know.
they got more wide receivers than Tyreek Hill too. He's
Hmm.
double fisted with some speed. They're not as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he's got some speedsters on the other side.
Right.
And they're gonna put Philadelphia to the test. And if
Yes, they are.
Philadelphia is a
This is
little
going to be a hard game for them. Very hard
yeah,
game.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm taking Miami. I'm
And
gonna look
two.
over my I'm gonna look over everything Sunday morning. Um, and go okay, what we got? Who's injured? What? But right now, I like the Dolphins to go plus 115
Hmm.
into Philly and to beat them. Big
Me
order,
too.
yes, it is. It's a very big order. But if anyone can do it, I like Miami's. I like their high flying offense. I mean, I
Hmm.
really do. The Bills shut them down. Okay, cool. But the Bills and Miami play each other twice a year. Been playing each other for 50 years or however long it's been. So that's a
Hmm.
totally different game. Um, and we've watched Philly, and Philly's kind of hasn't really been the same Philly like it was.
Right.
I like the Dolphins on the money line, and I'll even look at that over because this could be I mean this could easily go over 52 because Philly can score. I mean Philly's going to
Yes.
score some points. It's not like they're not. I just think the Dolphins are going to outlast. I'm just going to blow them. I mean I don't think it blow out. It's not going to be 70-20, nothing like that. But I can see this game going, 35-38 to 27,
Hmm.
easy.
Easy.
Um,
Easy.
yeah. So I like my now San Francisco and the Minnesota Vikings.
Hmm. Now this is the
Interesting.
one. This is the one where I had to go monk mode and stroke the beard a little bit. And like I
Yeah.
said, in this game, I'm definitely waiting on to see, you know, how
And
long these
McCaffrey too.
injuries are gonna, what the injury report is. So this one I'm
Yeah.
definitely waiting on because although it's the 2-4 Vikings, they're at home. Different team at home. Think, that the magic just happens in Minnesota for some reason. But they're going against a relentless defense. Relentless.
That's true. I totally agree.
Relentless
But I think
defense. Where my concern is what is the offense going to do and who's going to play, who's playing. If I can get one of the two, I'm all right with San Fran. I just got to see, you know, who's going to help with Kittle, and IU for this game. So I'm going to wait on a report for this one. Y'all be looking out for that Thursday. I'm going to try to record that Thursday before the Thursday night game. I'm going to try to record a current injury report, or would it be better if I did it Friday? Y'all hit us up in the comments. Email us down below, right over here in the corner, and let us know, should I do it Thursday before the
or,
game, or
or
should I do it
Friday.
Friday for Sunday's game? Y'all let me know.
So, um, Yeah, and I'm in total agree. I mean, the San Fran's defense, no joke. But the offense, and that's where I'm kind of looking at this under at 44
Mm-hmm.
because if you take their running game out of the deal, I mean, who's scoring all these points? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean, and I'm not looking. I don't think Minnesota is going to put up a bunch of points against them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is
Right.
one of them games where I can see San Fran pulling it out
Mm-hmm.
20-10. You know, I can
Yeah.
see that 20-10 only because of the defense. Um, and the because I'm expecting the defense to give him some good field position. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I mean that's where I'm looking. But I'm with you. And like I said, all these picks, you make your preliminary picks, you go through your stuff, Sunday morning or whatever you can, all the information you can get, and then you start trying to put together. Like I said, you got your big bets, okay, you got your money bets, and then try to put together a couple of parlays. I mean, and see what you got, and then you can go, kind of go from there. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone. Our time's running short. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Big Lou on Sportsbook. I want to thank everybody again at KM Radio. Go to kmradio.com. Press the play. It's a little button. Move your little scroller up there. Press it. Boom. 24 hours a day. All right, guys. Well, much love. See you next Tuesday right here on KM Radio, where we go ham.
Damn.